What is up, guys? So we're going to be doing a deck profile here. It's been a while since I last did one, but I figure that obviously I've been redeveloping different decks, so this is a new one that I've actually been playing around with. Focuses obviously on Aquas, Darkus, and Pyrus, so very nice combination here, because what I do like is that right now having Darkus and Pyrus always has such amazing synergy. As a result, that power-based attack and more forward style of, I guess, trying to go against your opponent is something that works really well. Likewise, with Aquas and Darkus, you have this really nice complementary kind of I don't know, there's this certain synergy towards them where Aquas focuses on kind of like disrupting the opponents, whereas Darkus focuses on the pure attack. And as a result, this definitely does work well. Now, if you guys haven't actually guessed, we have the red one, or the Pyrus one, as Pyrus Fangzor. As our first Bakugan here, and then we also have our Darkus Kelion Ultra. Definitely a very nice card as well, and we also have an Aquas Mantonoid Ultra. So having two Ultras on the team is definitely very nice, gives you the advantage on the roll, allowing you to bounce up and potentially picking up two Baku cores at the same time. However, that being said, if you guys haven't noticed so far, you could see that there's a total of 5 green fists, which is not particularly the best Baku core that you could get, but having them as the full main focus to give the benefits of Kelion's, I guess, bonuses as well as Fangzor's bonuses, definitely works to a very good way here. At the same time, we also have the Magic Shield, which is also an additional bonus, though it doesn't come off as often. So if you guys actually want to see what the Baku cores we have the one Magic Shield. I actually decided I wanted to use a trap card. Most people associate Magic Shields to having huge pluses, however I decided to go with the huge minus, so that when my opponent tries to roll into this, they're gonna just end up, losing that particular benefit there. So it definitely will work pretty well. It's that hidden trap that I have. However, for all the green fists, I do emphasize going for better ones. For example, we have pluses here, plus 100 B power and plus 100 or damage. Only applies to Darkus and Pyrus, so that means that most likely it will only work with my Bakugan, because we don't know what the opponent might be playing. Big risk because I am playing one Aquas, but as long as I know where I'm placing these, I should be okay. So we're playing at least 4 of these, just to take advantage of that. At the same time, we're also playing a plus 100 plus 3 for the Darkus and Aquas. So as you can see, if I'm going up against Darkus, it is definitely going to work against me. However, if I'm going against anything else, most likely I should be okay. So yeah, this is definitely something that I think would work well. Obviously, it will be a big risk depending on what my opponent might be playing. However, if they're playing, any of the other ones like Aurelus, Ventus, or Haos, then obviously they're not going to get the benefits of these Baku cores. So, big risk here playing all these, but I do think that it does work a bit well here. I did a bit of playtesting, and I am definitely pretty content with that. However, that being said, let's try and open up a few of these just to show what we actually have. So, firstly, we have Kelion. We've already seen the opening for this. Very amazing. Love the actual design of it. So you could actually open it up, get a really nice feel of what it is. Definitely very nice here. So that's our Kelion Ultra. And of course, we have our Mantonoid Ultra as well. So let's see, where can we get this opened up? Yep, so Mantonoid Ultra, definitely a very nice Bakugan. Love the actual design itself. And of course we have our Fangzor. So right over here, we can take a good look. But of course, what you guys are here for is for the deck profile itself. So let's just set these aside. And let's go on with the deck profile. So to begin, we're playing 2 copies here of Hypermantanoid Ultra. Definitely think that this is a really nice card to actually evolve into. So overall it works incredibly well. I'm going to be playing 2 copies of these. Moving on, we're playing 2 copies of Liquid Strike. Liquid Strike is a really interesting card. It gives you Frost, which, you know, it's not something that is most commonly used, but I think to try and get the attack through, you're going to make it difficult for your opponent. So 2 copies of Liquid Strike definitely works incredibly well for a cheap cost. We're also playing Hydroblast. Hydroblast is definitely a very nice card. Let me just put this away here. So playing 2 copies of Hydroblast. 6 is pretty crazy, pretty hefty of course, and considering it's an Aquas card as well. However, 4 damage plus the 4 Frost is definitely a very worthwhile kind of deal for you, because you could deal a lot of damage for your opponent and you could also prevent them from activating their flip effects, so definitely quite nice. Moving on, we're playing Triple Blast Cannon. 3 copies of this because it's a... Well, this is an amazing card. Honestly, it's a 3 cost and you can negate any action card. I just think it's purely one of the greater cards here in this particular deck. So definitely gotta make the most out of this by playing 3 copies of it. Of course, we're playing Inspire. Inspire is a very cheap card. It's only 1 and it allows you to simply just draw a card. Definitely very nice. So yeah, there's not much else to really explain about it. It's just a really amazing card. Moving on, we're playing 3 copies of Accelerate. Accelerate basically just, again, allowing you to draw into your cards. You might be thinking, well, if you draw into your cards, won't that deck you out a lot faster? Well, in this particular case, it's not too big of a deal. Decking out really is no big problem as long as we're able to get into the cards we really need. So focusing more on consistency here. We could easily gain a lot of damage through our own effects here. So overall, most of the time we could end the game quite quickly, which is why the 6 there was kind of like that hefty thing for the Hydroblast. Onto the Pyrus cards, we're playing Fiery Rage. Just 1 copy because, well, it's like that extra bonus that I choose to have. Not always going to be the most synergetic card. It just felt like something that I would add as a bonus. We're also playing Wreathed in Flame. This allows us, again, more damage, and with the Frost, we're preventing our opponents from actually activating flip effects to negate our damage. So overall, we'll be dishing out damage really early on in the game. I'm also playing 2 copies of Cycling Warmth, +2, and then of course this also returns itself, which works well with the Accelerate and the Inspire, considering that you're drawing out cards. You just simply return this to the deck, and it definitely works quite well. We're also playing 2 copies of Fire Boost. Sometimes you just need that extra attack to get over the opponent's Bakugan. As a result, this card definitely does the job. We're also playing 3 copies of Song of Fire. Song of Fire is quite amazing, allowing you to add a lot of extra energy to it, so I definitely think it's quite nice. I mean, overall, if you look at it as a whole, it is only +2 energy, but +2 energy when combined with some of the low-cost Aquas cards can definitely work very amazingly for this here. So definitely a card that I think is well worthwhile in actually incorporating. For just 2 Darkest cards, I wanted to actually just briefly mention. They're the only Darkest cards I'm playing, but we're playing Dark Fire. It's definitely a very interesting card to play, because obviously it is a bit costly at 4, but you do get 9 damage out of it, which is one of the most aggressive plays you could actually make to deal as much damage as you possibly can in 1 turn, considering you're attacking with 1 Bakugan. Moving on, we're also playing 3 copies of Engulfing Embers. This one's probably one of the most balanced cards. Plus 400 and plus 6 damage is straight on just a really good card, giving you a fair boost towards 2 different stat lines to deal with the most optimal amount of damage for your opponents and trying to get over them at the same time. 1 copy of Hot Potato. This is just really interesting to get rid of some Bakugan. Sometimes your opponent might actually benefit off you, so being able to use this is definitely going to help out. And considering the Bakugans we were playing, you know, you don't want them landing on yours, so sometimes having this card is definitely quite nice. I only have 1 copy. I want to add more, but this will suffice for now. Moving on, we're playing 3 copies of Sifting Ashes. This is a bit much. Draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards, but like I said, this deck focuses so much on consistency, and you want to draw into the cards you really need. As a result, I have no worries about drawing as many cards as I can from my deck, because I will be trying to get the specific cards to end the game as quickly as possible. We're going to be playing the 1 copy of Titan Fangzor. Since it's a 5 cost, I didn't want to play too many of them, but having that extra boost is definitely quite nice. Otherwise, I usually use it as an energy card. But that being said, he's still pretty much worth it. Playing the 1 copy of Lava Flow, it's for free and you get an additional energy, so I really can't complain about this at all. And then to end things off, we're playing 3 copies of Spark. Draw a card, discard a card. Similar to Sifting Ashes, only a bit less, very cheap card, and again, maintains the consistency of this deck. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up for this particular deck. It is definitely quite a fun deck to try out if you guys actually have these available for you. You don't necessarily have to follow this particular line of Bakugan, it's more so the utility that goes behind them with this particular deck that works well with it. So definitely give this a go. It is a very fun build. Yeah, overall I think I'll be playing with this for a few more games, and I'll start shifting into other builds as well. But in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.